Hello everyone and welcome back, Dom here, and on this video I'm going to show you how you can create your own custom kick drums, 808 style kick drums and sub basses using just a Retro and no samples. Coming up. The reason why I'm making this video is because I think that Retro deserves way more attention than it gets. It's a very powerful synthesizer that can do so many things. You can build entire tracks just by using Retro. And I'm not just saying this, I've done it, and if you're interested, let me know. I might show you how to make even more sounds with Retro. So in this video, I'm going to focus mainly on how to create kick drums and 808 style sub basses. I'm going to show you some techniques that you can use with Retro, and it will sound amazing. So let's get started. I'm going to get straight to the point. So I'm going to start with a brand new instance of Retro. And what I like about Retro is that when you launch it, and you load it, you get an initial sound. You don't get all kinds of crazy arpeggiated sounds or, fancy effects. You can straight away go ahead and start sound designing. I appreciate that. Now, I'm going to focus on 808 sub-bass kick drums. Okay, let me show you some techniques that you can use to get these amazing sounds out of Retro. Now, the first thing that I want to do is I want to select my waveform. So I'm going to go to oscillator 1, and I think I'm going to go for a sine wave, because 808s are based on sine waves. That's nice, but it's a little bit high in terms of pitch. So I'm going to go down 1 octave. Yes, see? I also have supervision here, and we can see that now we are around 50 hertz. And that's where our kick drum should be. So let's go ahead and create the magic now. Because this is nice, but this is a sub bass. It doesn't really kick you in the face, right? So how can we do this? The first thing that you need to do is maybe you want to add a little bit of distortion. Let's go here. Just add a few harmonics. See, check here in supervision and see what difference it makes. Your ear now perceives this as a more heavy and a more kind of big sound because we have more harmonics there. Now, just make sure that you're listening on headphones or monitors for this example, because these are really sub frequencies, so you won't be able to hear them on small laptop speakers. What should we do next? This is a kick drum or a sub bass or whatever it is. One thing that I know for sure is that it should be mono. So I'm going to turn on mono, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the glide as well, because this will allow me to do stuff like this. Nice. The other thing that I might want to do if I'm going to create an 808 sub bass is use legato. And this will allow me to do this. I love this, and I always like to use this when I'm programming 808 bass lines. This fluid kind of, it adds a lot of interest to your bass lines. So, legato can be your friend. Now, let's get to the interesting stuff. This is good, but it has no attack. And what your instinct might tell you is go here to your envelope, our amplitude envelope, and start messing with these things. Which is fine. But this won't help you too much. Let me just open the release a little bit and let's see how we can create a longer kind of bass. This we might need. This is actually quite good. And this you do it by opening the release. Here's the interesting bit, and that's the magic sauce for creating nice and punchy 808 kick drums, but pretty much any kick drum. And that's the pitch envelope. And I already hear you saying, Dom, you've lost it. There is no pitch envelope in Retrolog, and you'll be right, except for there is one. It's not obvious, but there is one. It's a hidden one. Let me show you. You can actually use any of these envelopes, the filter envelope, the amplitude envelope, and even this hidden envelope here, envelope 3, as a pitch envelope. How do you do this? Let's use the filter envelope as our pitch envelope in this case. I'm going to take these 3 lines, I'm going to drag them and drop them into the coarse control here. And now what happens? See, it assigns everything for you. By the way, these things, sometimes I've seen synths that cost a lot of money and you cannot do this so easily. Just saying. Anyway, so what has happened now? Our filter envelope goes to destination, oscillator 1 pitch. So this controls our pitch now. It has become a pitch envelope. And because I'm using a sine wave, I don't really need the filter, if you know what I mean, because it's a sine wave. I cannot do much with a filter. I could, but this is more interesting. Let me show you. So now it sounds like this. Why does it sound like this? Because the sustain is all the way up and the decay is right here. What you want to do straight away is make sure your sustain is all the way down. Why? Because you want to retain the original pitch. So when I play E, it still plays E. If I change the sustain, it won't play the correct note. So keep the sustain all the way down. What you care about is the decay time, and this is what will create the attack for you. Now, can you hear that? That's what we want. But if we add a little bit more modulation depth, what this does is it determines how high this decay, this peak here, how high it will be. So if we go higher, we get a nice kind of, it hits you in the face. Yes. Yes. Let's try the attack. Let me show you what it does. You know, so the attack actually now is the attack for our pitch. So let's go very high and let me show you what it does now. So you can do rises, you can do drops, you can do anything you want. That's what I'm saying. Retrolog can do so much, so easily, literally with a few clicks. So let's go here and hear that attack? And you can fine-tune it using these 2 controls, the depth and the decay. And just like that, you created your own kick drum. I think that's very important because you don't need to rely on samples all the time. You can actually create your own sounds. Like this, you can create toms, you can create snares, you can create hi-hats, anything you want. So, ooh. Yes. Let's try a different waveform. Let's try the triangle. Yeah. Now the sawtooth won't work so well. See? Or the square. Maybe for a bass that would be nice, but I think the best one is by far the sine wave. And maybe for the release I want to keep it very low as well so that it doesn't change the pitch there. We've done this, now I'm going to show you how we can start processing this kick drum, this sub bass. I mean, now I have total control. I can say, I want this to be like a sub bass or I want it to be a kick drum. Hear that? And it's pitched. You can use any pitch that you want. or just... Now let's go and start processing it. I'm going to use a few plugins that I found that work really, really nicely with these kick drums. The first one is obviously the squasher. Okay, this plugin is really, really amazing. So let me go ahead and start processing this kick drum with squasher. What I like to do is open the parameters here, open the attack a little bit. I like to go for absolute mode so I can tweak all these together. And I don't want to compress it too much. I just want to compress it a tiny bit, but with open attack so the attack goes through. And I'm going to add a little bit of drive. Let's listen now. Okay, are you ready, guys? Without it, let's level match. I mean, the attack is unreal. I'm just using a retrolog and squasher here, okay? And you can hear that now it's infinite because squasher also brings up this low end. Check out. When it drops below a certain level, check it out, check here. Whoop. It will last forever. You know, and I can control this. So, squasher, ladies and gentlemen, this is an amazing, amazing plugin. Now, let's use something else. I'm going to also use Destroyer. Destroyer is also great for this kind of kick drums. Yeah, and actually it sounds great if you add it after squasher, actually. I'm going to pull down the level a little bit. And you can change. I like this. This is nice and round. And I mean, what can I say? It's really amazing. I'm going to turn off Destroyer and show you the other plugin that I like using on this kind of sub-bass kick drums. And this is Quadrafuzz. And let me show you how this sounds. This is great because it's a multi-band, saturation, distortion plugin. And for this kind of sounds, it works very well. That's a killer kick drum. This is just retrolog, guys. It's not a sample. It's nothing else. It's just this synth that it's built in inside Cubase, you know? This is big. Okay, the next thing I want to show you, and that's a third-party plugin. But I love this company. They make amazing plugins. And this is the Parallel Aggressor from Baby Audio. I love the plugins. I've talked about their plugins in previous videos. They make super, super cool plugins. And if you want to grab a copy of this, I'm going to have a link down below. If you buy it from this link, you're also supporting the channel. So thank you very much in advance. But let's move on. Let's listen to how it sounds. This plugin is actually very, very cool. I like it for drums. I like it for a lot of things. Maybe I'm going to do a dedicated video for this. But basically what it does is it has this spank control that adds a lot of punch to the sound, and we also have this heat control that adds quite a bit of saturation, harmonics, tone, and for this kind of sounds, this is a miracle plugin. Let me show you. I'm going to use the spank now. And then I can blend it in. It's kind of... Whoa, that's punchy. Okay. It also adds it in a very musical way. Nice. And now let's try the heat. The heat will actually allow the notes to translate on smaller systems. Let me show you. have the extra hard, and we also have tone here. So you don't sacrifice the low end. Let me remove the dry for a sec. That's a spank, and that's... See what it does? And you can have a filter. So without it, now, as I said, these are all plugins that will allow these 808 sub basses cut through the mix. They allow you to identify the notes, because these sub basses might sometimes not be very clear when it comes to what pitch am I playing there, you know? So all these processors allow you to make these notes cut through, but it's very important that they're parallel, like this one, the parallel aggressor, or like the quadrafuzz. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully this will inspire you to go and create your own custom kick drums and sub bass lines with Retrolog. Retrolog is a fantastic synth, so I want you to spread the love. Share this video with any Cubase user that has never used Retrolog, because shame on them. And just show them what's possible and what they can do with it, because I'm pretty sure that many people spend a lot of money on plugins where we have some amazing killer plugins inside Cubase. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like, bell notification, you know what to do. Love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.